Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Porte ISD, and thank you for being here. It is now 7 p.m. Tuesday, January 14th, 2024, and I hereby call this meeting to order. Notice that this meeting was posted in a manner required by law. At 5 p.m. Friday, January 10th, the Board of Trustees of the LaPorte Independent School District is now convened. Let the record show all trustees are present and a quorum is present. As LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees, every student's success is our #1 priority. We are here to set goals, adopt policy, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and communicate the district's vision and success to the community. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the sole responsibility of the superintendent. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. School board meetings are open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. However, audience participation is limited to the stakeholder presentation portion of the meeting, and the board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comments. These proceedings may be recorded, and I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking. And at this time, will you please stand for the presentation colors led by the LaPorte High School ROTC under the direction American Rifle, Captain Aiden Trant. American Flag, Lieutenant Colonel Damian Romero. Texas Flag, Commander Sergeant Major Yasmin Salas. And Texas Rifle, Private First Class Mika Morales.
Color guard, halt, center, face, present, colors.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Order, colors, colors, post. Ready, seat, present, arms, order, arms, center, face, mark time, march. Forward, march.
And will you please bow your head for tonight's invocation given by Board Vice President Jeff Martin.
I totally knew I was doing this. But God, we thank you for these men and women that are here this evening. We thank you for this, my fellow board members. We thank you for our administrative team. We thank you for our teachers, our staff, for every parent that's represented, Father God. We ask a abundance of wisdom, of courage, of discernment as we go forward and we plan out our meetings and we move forward with our spring semester, Father God. We just pray a hedge of protection around every individual in our community. We ask, again, just grace and patience with us as we go forward and try to plan out the best map forward for our district and our students. Father God, we ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen. You may be seated.
Sorry.
Board will move to item 5, board recognitions. Tonight's recognitions will be presented by Director of Communications, Mr. Adam Hollins. Yeah, let's go there.
Thank you, President Hanks. Good evening. Is this microphone on? I can't
It is.
Okay, awesome. Bulldogs, front and center. Y'all crowd in up here. We're honoring you tonight. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First of all, Bulldogs, I was telling Coach Bernithi a couple of minutes ago that I really like having these celebrations in January, so I hope to see you back here next January. Ladies and gentlemen, the LaPorte Bulldogs football team had a season for the ages in 2024, winning their second consecutive district championship and advancing to the UIL state quarterfinals for the first time since 2011. This team features 25 all-district and 20 academic all-district players, including 3 district superlatives. Perhaps the most amazing feat about this 2024 Bulldogs team is that they played their second straight season without a true home stadium and went undefeated in district play. The Bulldogs are coached by another district superlative, the 2024 11-5A Coach of the Year and Touchdown Club of Houston Coach of the Year finalist, Kevin Bernithi.
Yes, sir.
I want to start off by thanking the Board of Trustees, and we know it's Board Appreciation Month, and we got a special gift for you. Flying Label 2024.
Almost.
Yes, we got there.
I'm wondering if y'all should have thought around there. We're going to work our way up in there so that we can get
This is gonna look real nice in my office. I know. Let them have their picture. You know, let's get right up here. This is about them, not us. I know, understand.
Make sure we get everybody, guys. Make sure you try to get everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the music room.
Good job, guys.
Exciting. I'm recognize you. Thank you for your service.
Isn't that neat, Melissa? I knew it was coming.
I'm serious.
It's a big deal.
I'm very excited.
Thank you for a great year.
No, we're saying we're so excited.
No, we talked about you earlier.
Okay, all right.
Oh, we still got more, huh?
We still have more, yes? Okay, sorry.
We got one more.
We don't want that scandal.
Good evening.
Come on, let's keep it.
January is National Mentoring Month, which offers us an outstanding opportunity to recognize our community volunteers who mentor LaPorte ISD students through the HELPS program. And HELPS stands for Help Empower LaPorte Students. The HELPS program began in fall 2022 as a project of the LaPorte Bayshore Chamber of Commerce and LaPorte ISD. This program connects caring, committed adults from across the community with students at LaPorte ISD schools. Volunteers meet with their mentees weekly for 30 minutes at the students' campuses, building positive adult-child relationships through informal activities that the students enjoy, such as board games, arts and crafts, sports, and more. The program began at LaPorte ISD Elementary Schools and has expanded to the Baker 6th grade campus, Lomax Junior High School, LaPorte Junior High School, and LaPorte High School. At this time, 55 students benefit from the weekly meetings with their mentors. We are grateful to these men and women for their generous donation of time and devout commitment to the students of our district. And we have a few of our community volunteers here with us tonight. Frank Nance, who works with Dr. Sharon Clausen, Megan Weaver, and our mayor of the city of LaPorte, Ruby Helton. And then we also have some LaPorte ISD mentors. Two of our board members, Deanne Thompson and Jeff Martin, and several of our administrators, Dr. Jackson, Adam Holland, and Julie Abrams. And we have a sign that we'd like for you to hold, and we'll get your picture.
Come on, mentors.
No rules about that.
Reverse shake. Yes, Terry.
One more item, or is that it?
Well, we have four. We now move to the board recognition portion of our recognitions. As you know, January is School Board Appreciation Month, and we have representatives from Commissioner Garcia's office. They would like to make a presentation.
Hi, good evening. My name is Mercedes Sanchez. I am Senior Director of Policy and Community Relations for Commissioner Adrian Garcia, Harris County Precinct 2. And I am here today with Gretchen Knowles, who is the Precinct 2 Community Liaison for the LaPorte community. As you know, January is School Board Recognition Month, so today I'm here on behalf of Commissioner Adrian Garcia to thank and celebrate you, our LaPorte trustees. Commissioner Adrian Garcia commends you for your commitment and passion for the education and success of all children. Through your decisions and policies, you're shaping the educational landscape of our youth. Your decisions impact their present and most importantly, their future. Of our students, our educators, and ultimately of our community. We're lucky to have such strong advocates for education as we do in each and every one of you. Thank you for ensuring that every educator has the support and the resources that they need so that each student can get a quality education to become the leaders of tomorrow. Thank you for your time, for your passion, and for your commitment. Please note that you have a partner and an advocate in Commissioner Adrian Garcia. And without further ado, please accept these certificates of appreciation on behalf of Commissioner Adrian Garcia and the residents of Precinct 2 to honor your leadership and dedication to the children of LaPorte. Thank you.
Yes. Get a photo. Get a photo of them.
Okay.
Forward.
Is that it? Go. Yeah, make yourself comfortable. All right. We got one more. January every year is School Board Recognition Month, and it offers us a perfect opportunity to thank our elected board members for caring about the future of our students and communities. LaPorte ISD joins other districts across the state in celebrating these community volunteers for their commitment and contributions to children. Leadership for Tomorrow's Texas is the theme for 2025, demonstrating how local trustees continue to lead the way for Texas public schools. While we appreciate the efforts of our trustees throughout the year, January is set aside as a special time for communities to celebrate their contributions and thank them for caring so much about the future of every child enrolled in our public schools.
Hello, this is Rick Helton, the mayor for the city of LaPorte. I wanted to thank the school board for LaPorte ISD, all the great work that they've done and making sure that our children are educated and a priority in our community. Thank you very much.
Board of Trustees, on behalf of Bayshore, I just want to extend a thank you to you for all that you do each and every day for our students, our staff, and our community. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for everything you do.
I just want to say thank you to the LaPorte ISD School Board for all you do for the students and staff of our district. Thank you very much.
Board of Trustees, thank you very much for all that you do. Hello, school board members. It's me, Davis Neal. I'm the announcer for announcements here at James H. Baker, and I just want to say each January we honor the dedicated individuals who tirelessly serve their communities as volunteers, our school board members. We appreciate all that you do. We really, really do, and you're there when we need you the most, and we appreciate that here at James H. Baker.
From Lomax Junior High, the Lobos would like to say, thank you, Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for all you do to support the students of LaPorte ISD.
Thank you, LaPorte ISD School Board, Board of Trustees, for all the great support this year throughout our football season, everything you do for our football program, our athletics programs, and our school district. We greatly appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Corby Alexander, and I'm the city manager for the city of LaPorte. And I want to say thank you to the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees for all you do to make LaPorte a great community and to educate our children.
Thank you, school board. Thank you, trustees.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for all that you do and going above and beyond the call of duty. As a LaPorte alumni, you are truly appreciated. Thank you.
Greetings, Board of Trustees. On behalf of Transportation, we would like to say thank you for all that you do in supporting us and everything that we need. If it wasn't for y'all, we would not have these beautiful brand new buses for our school district. Thank you, Mason, for all that you do. Thanks, Dad, for all that you do.
Thank you, LPISD Board of Trustees, for everything you do.
Hey, this is Mr. Mack over here at LaPorte Junior High. I just want to give a huge shout out to the LaPorte ISD Board of Trustees. I want to thank you for all you do for all of us here at LaPorte Junior High and for everyone in LaPorte ISD.
Hi, school board members. I want to take a moment and thank you for everything you do for the students and staff here in LaPorte. We have a school board like no other.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for all you do.
Thank you, LPISD School Board, for all you do. Because of you, we are creating leaders for tomorrow.
Thank you, Board, for your dedication, and on behalf of the entire school district, LaPorte ISD, and the entire community, we want to say thank you for all that you do to make our district a beacon and a shining light on the East Harris County side of town. We appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody. That was great. Thank you, everybody. That was very kind. We now move to item 6, public comment. The board will now hear those who wish to make comment and who have completed and returned the public comment participation requests. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. As such, this is a reminder that board members may not respond to those comments made in the public comment section. Complaints and/or concerns for which other resolution channels are provided shall be directed through those channels. Mr. Martin, do we have any registered speakers?
Mr. President, we have 2, I believe one of them, Mercedes Sanchez, she's already spoke. So we have one more, Mr. Keith Martin at 10810 Elizabeth here in LaPorte, talking about access to Lomax Elementary.
Thank you. Mr. Keith? Yes, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. My name is Keith Martin. I live at 10810 Elizabeth Lane, and for those of you, which is probably all of you don't know, dead ends into Lomax Elementary School. About 25 or 30 years ago, the city took my neighbor's property via eminent domain to make an access right there, and it eventually worked out pretty well for everybody. Various kids walked through there and used it to go into school and different things like that. Well, something happened the beginning of this year, and one of my neighbors had a problem with someone picking up their child on our street, which was okay, but something happened, words were said, a mailbox was run over, and then the next thing we know, the gate's locked, or closed. It was closed with just a piece of chain link fence and some tie wraps. About 3 or 4 or 6 weeks ago, I went and purchased a gate, a combination lock, took the chain link down, put the gate up, and installed a lock in the hasp for our neighbors who like to walk through the elementary school in the evenings and the weekends and all that kind of stuff to stay off of L Street. And it worked pretty well for a few days, and then a chain link lock, a chain and a lock showed up on it, and rumor has it the school district put it there. I'm just hoping, looking for guidance on is that going to be an access we will get to continue to use, or is it going to stay permanently closed, or what the deal is? I'm here only representing myself and my family, but there is 8 other families on Alvey and Elizabeth that used to routinely use that gate for no other reason other than walking and exercising. But again, I understand if it's a security issue and it has to be closed. I just hate to see it transpire that way. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Good. That all the speakers?
That's it, sir.
All right. The gentleman, the young man that just spoke is also one of our volunteers for musical. He builds sets throughout the holidays, pours a lot of hours into that process, so we appreciate him. We're going to move to item 7, administrative reports. Dr. Jackson, would you like to start with your report?
Yes, sir. Mr. Board President, you and the board have a copy of the superintendent's January report. I will not read it tonight as we have several presentations, and I would ask that y'all would forgive me for that, but you have that for your records, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So we will move to item B, budget, finance, and insurance update. District CFO, Ms. Stacy.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Jackson. At time, we're going to cover 2 topics. The first is going to be our fiscal year 2026 budget calendar, and our second topic is going to be our insurance consultant transition timeline. Oh, I'm so sorry. We will ask that you're going to receive the budget calendar as part of your. Okay, so as you look at the calendar on the left side of the screen, each highlighted date is either a board meeting date or a board workshop date. So we'll start with January. Creating the calendar, creating the budget is a 6-month process. So we're starting right at the beginning of the year. So in January, the first thing that we do is calculate out our campus and budget allotments and set up different meetings. I give that, the plan is to give that to all of the budget managers, and that's including all the campuses and the departments. They will receive their allocation next Wednesday, which is January 22nd. And then we'll set up meetings to train with them, and I come to them and sit with them to go over any kind of questions that they might have. And also, just want to let you know today, I'm sure you know, is the start of the 89th legislative session. So it's going to be a fun year. We move on to February, and that's the month that I would meet with all the budget managers, and then they would also enter their budgets into our software, e-finance software. Going on to March, our board meeting is on March 11th. So we ask that before spring break is Friday the 14th of March, and so that's when the due date will be for all the budget managers to have their budget entered into our system. That's also the month that I will be working with our administrative team to look at enrollment trends, any kind of staffing needs, like start having those kind of conversations. And then also I'm going to start projecting out any kind of revenues that we might be having. Once they get their budgets in, then I can actually start really looking at our expenditures and where that's going to fall out, and kind of start projecting out possibilities of where our budget will end. As we move on to April, we have on here our budget, our board workshop is April 8th, and I'm proposing that we have a tentative April 22nd workshop to talk about compensation, go through the compensation plan and have a meeting strictly for that so that we can address anything that you might need, you have questions about, and then we have time to gather that data so that when we do meet tentative again in May, on May 6th, to have a budget workshop, and then we can go through what the budget is at that time, and then also answer any kind of questions y'all might have on the compensation plan. Also in April is when we will receive our certified estimate of taxable property values, and that's what I use to actually calculate out what our tax revenue might be and what our recapture payment would be. So all of that will roll into that budget workshop. And then also, and we will have our May 13th will be our board meeting. And by law, we have to post in the newspaper that posted notice for that we're going to have the budget adoption in June. So as we close out to June, on June 10th is our board meeting scheduled, and that's the date that we would bring the budget to you and ask that you approve the budget for 2026. And also just want to put on there, June 2nd is the end of the 89th legislative session. So it's through the entirety of the 6 months of the board, of the budget process, the legislative session will be going on hand in hand. So we'll be hearing left and right, this might happen, what do you think, So
makes your job more fun.
I'm sorry?
Makes your job more fun.
It's interesting. You don't, you're never bored, right? So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of what our budget calendar looks like for fiscal year 2026.
Before we move to something else,
yes,
can I please say thank you for putting the compensation plan before we get too far into the budget process.
Right.
I appreciate you hearing our pleas about that last year and making adjustments to that.
Yes.
Happy to do that.
So thank you for that.
The calendar is very helpful in general. I mean, I think you did something similar last year, but helps us keep ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
Also, just for clarification, the budget managers would consist of any department heads, any campus leaders, and anybody in that role, correct?
Yes, anyone who is has a touch.
Okay.
All campus principals are a budget manager, and then any department is also a budget manager. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions about the budget process? Okay, so now we will move on. So after completing our due diligence and gathering the necessary information, our administration decided to transition our TPA, which is that's a third-party administrator, who is our insurance consultant. We're moving from FFGA to Higginbotham Public Sector, and they're known throughout here as HPS. So beginning in February, I'm going to kind of go through the same thing each month, what this next 5-month process will look like. So the first is the broker of record agent change letter. We actually completed that today, so we've already notified FFGA of our transition, and we've provided HBS with the letter so that they can now go to carriers on our behalf to start having those conversations. On February 5th, we'll actually meet with HBS to review what our current benefits are and prepare the bid package for our ancillary insurance. Of course, this is, it's not our health insurance, it's everything else. And then also on our part, we will provide HBS the necessary information, which is census data, which is really information about our employees, dates, your birth dates, sex, that type of stuff. And who is currently using our insurance so that they can use that information to go out to bid. So in March, HBS will sign service agreements with them. They will go out to bid, and we will also get to meet who our dedicated service team and our implementation team is throughout this process. We expect to receive our bid results back for the pricing of what we're asking them to go out for after spring break. So the week of March 24th, we will meet with HBS and start deciding what the first step of what is best for us, pricing wise and benefits wise, what options we can provide. And then also what they call the hub link, their enrollment site is called the benefits hub. And so they're going to start building that. Once they know what our insurance options are that we want to provide to our employees, they build out the hub so that the employee can then go in there and enroll into the system. So April, May timeframes, that's when they're actually going to be building the hub. And we will be meeting with HBS to talk about what our open enrollment process is going to look like, because this will be our first year with them. So we have things that have worked for us, and they are happy to provide those same things and any other things that we need to be able to include our employees in providing them the information they need and the support that they need to enroll. So we'll set up what our enrollment dates are going to be and how we're going to communicate to our employees and how to best serve them. Also, HBS, they will handle the conversations and the forms that have to go to TRS to let them know that we're transitioning from FFGA to HBS, and that's usually the April-May time frame. And then also for us in the payroll department, we're test. We're always proactive, right? We want to make sure it's right the first time, that when you hit that button, everything is going to flow. So we're going to start, creating our deduction reports and our import files and making sure that everything is going to flow so that your insurance goes in correctly and it comes out of your paycheck correctly. So in June, we're going to test that hub and make sure everything's continuing, and we'll finalize our open enrollment game plan. We'll get to the July and August time frame, which is open enrollment goes from mid-July through mid-August, and open enrollment for all of our employees will be now in HPS's their hub, the benefits hub. So all employees, so it'll be a new system that they go into. We've reviewed it, we've looked at it. It's very user-friendly, so I'm not looking for any kind of issues with that. And again, we will be there to support them as they go through. But we will be working in 2 different systems. So we'll be working with FFGA through the month of July and August, because any kind of changes that a current employee has to be, we're still with FFGA, and it's going to be in their side, any kind of changes that happen. But to go for, the insurance year starts September 1st, so they have to, our current employees will choose whatever insurance they want in our new HPS system. So, as I said, our new insurance year plan year begins on September 1st, and So in September, we will be walking through and training on how to set up the billing process and get the files to HPS so that they can then pay it out for us. And then also just really learn about the back end for the administrator, what kind of reports we can run, that type of thing, so that our team feels comfortable moving forward. So, and that is the plan. Are there any questions I can answer today? Yes, ma'am.
So, and when in that time frame do you actually like have meetings with the employees to kind of like, give them the information, answer their questions, that kind of thing?
That will be during the open enrollment period, so
Right.
that's the mid-July through mid-August. And we, in the past years, since I've been here and then previous to me, we have representatives from our insurance consulting company. They come and they're on site.
So they're available.
They are
okay.
absolutely available. They're also available by phone. They're available by email.
I just know it's not during the regular work year, so
No, it's not. But we make sure that all employees are back when we do have people on site.
Okay.
So we
good.
have a couple of days that we, at
the start
our
of the year.
ITC building, we actually had 2 days at our support services
Right.
center just for the employees that work there, our child nutrition and, transportation.
Great.
And several notices are sent out to kind of
Okay.
remind
Yes.
people of that at open enrollment, because if you're not careful, you can go a whole month and not take care of what you need to take care
Well,
of.
no,
So
it
we
happens
send out-
a lot.
Yeah, we send out several notices about that.
You can give them a month or
And
a week.
principals
and
are
they
real
still
good
don't
about
get it
helping to
done.
do that, and
Okay.
department leads and department heads.
Okay.
So we'll do our part to get everybody out there.
Yes, sir. And one thing we kind of partner with our department heads and our principals once it gets to that last week. And so they continually, we send them lists, okay, here's you want to, here's the information.
Do you do any kind of virtual information sessions?
That's a possibility that we can do. We can have them video going through the benefits book in English and Spanish and then have it on the site.
I just know since we're changing,
Yeah.
it would be different if we were rolling forward with the same plans that we'd had. But now since there's change.
We will get the word out for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you all so
Sam.
much.
Thank you.
I'll now move to item C, academic update.
Yeah, because of the tape. That's not it. So sorry about that. I didn't tell you in time. Sorry about that. We can go to transportation.
Okay, we'll go to D, transportation update. That's okay. You're good.
Good evening. Thank y'all for asking me to come up here and give y'all an update on what's going on in my world. I feel like we don't get asked about a lot, and maybe that's a good thing, right? When we're not under fire at the start of the school year. So I enjoy getting up here and and getting to and to talk about my world, because I love my world and I want everyone else to love it as much as I do. So. Just kind of a brief overview of what we do in a typical year. Our transportation operations go from 5 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So we are there all day long, and even then it doesn't stop. On average, we are dealing with about 100 incoming calls daily, and that's from sunup to sundown. They don't stop calling, even at 11, 12 in the afternoon. They're still calling. But we're there to help them get everything that they need, their worries about their students, and and that's our job, is to make sure that we give them the answers that they're wanting. So we enjoy taking those calls. Routing and logistics of nearly 3,200 students, and so that's about 45% of our total enrollment. And in a year, we go about 700,000 miles for those routes. We manage all of the supplies and maintenance of our student badging system, which is SmartTag. So if a campus needs supplies, if they need assistance on their printer, that's us that goes and services those printers, gives them the supplies they need whenever they request it. We process all of the bus conduct reports and video footage for campus disciplinary action. So those start with us in transportation, drivers and monitors. They submit those reports. We review them, get any investigation done that needs to be done. We pull video from buses, and meet with drivers, monitors, whatever needs to be done, and then we pass it along to the campus, who then sets forth the disciplinary action to be had. We coordinate nearly 1,200 student field trips a year. On average, we have 6 to 8 field trips per day, and in a year, we go about 72,000 miles on just field trips alone. We maintain a fleet of 150 vehicles, so that's buses and white fleet, including, trailers and forklifts and anything that you can think of. We take care of it, but we do have 50 white fleet and 81 school buses. And then in our year, we have nine staff development days, and we use those days for hands-on training. We get behind the wheel, we're out on the parking lot, we're out on the roads, or we're doing curriculum-based training. And it doesn't just stop with us. We like to bring in outside sources. So, just here recently, we had the supervisor over the school bus division of DPS. She came and did, a presentation for our drivers and monitors. We had Region 4 come and do some student management training. We had a private vendor who has worked in transportation for a couple decades. She specializes in special needs, and so we most recently just had her last week, and everybody loved her. It's great to have outside people come in and just give things that maybe we might not even think about, and it keeps everybody engaged and on their toes to hear new things and not just the same thing from us that they hear every day. So what's new for our department? So in the school year 23-24, we did a departmental restructure. That was the creation of 4 supervisor positions. So one that oversees routing and logistics, field trips and training, discipline and safety, and then our fleet maintenance supervisor. We also added 2 dispatchers, and so our dispatchers are there in the AM and PM. They both work a split shift, so it's 4 hours in the AM and 4 hours in the PM, and then we handle all of the calls that happen in between. But those 2 positions alone have, they have been so beneficial to just, the overall customer service of our department and making sure that those phone calls that are coming in all day long are taken care of. We also added a bus driver trainee position. So when you come in on that trainee position, you're given 90 school days, so it's actually quite a long time to become fully licensed. So that's getting your permit, studying for that. There's 5 tests you have to take to get your permit. And then taking that permit and doing all of your behind the wheel training, on the road, on the parking lot. There's a lot to it. And so far we have successfully trained 4 people have come through and become licensed bus drivers, and we now have this year an additional 3 that are training to become bus drivers. We started a transportation steering committee. And so that consists of 8 members covering all of our areas of transportation. So there's a representative for everybody, whether you're a crossing guard, a bus monitor, a bus driver, mechanic, the office. We have coverage within that committee, just so everybody knows that there's somebody out there that they can go to, whether they want to voice a concern or if they want to see a change to something to be better. They also help assist us with just employee recognition, making sure that we're doing things to keep people happy. And birthday parties and our in-service days, just whatever they can do to help us make sure that all of these activities are successful. We just recently purchased 2 Chevrolet Suburbans and 5 Ford Transit vans, so that'll be a total of 4 Suburbans in our fleet, and those are on order and hopefully will be here by the end of the month. All the Suburbans and the transit vans. So the transit vans will replace maintenance vehicles that just recently went to auction. So those maintenance vehicles were, of course, they were past their life. Most of them over 25 years old, but the oldest one being 33 years old.
We got out of money, right?
Yes. So we definitely got our money's worth out of those.
Are we going to keep the other 2 Suburbans? Sorry, you said that.
We are, yes, sir. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I was just kidding with Dustin about
I mean, for now, at least. Hopefully, we'll get more down the road.
Never buy more. Just kidding.
More new things. We got our ARI Hetra mobile lifts, and so what these are, which is in this top picture of the bus on the lift. So they are 4 fully wireless wirelessly connected, fully mobile, heavy-duty lifts. And so we drive our bus in, put a lift on each tire, and it goes up in the air. And
Those
so
have been a game changer, huh?
they have, yes, you know, and so, and just a simple oil change, the time was cut in half. You know, but anything that involves with the maintenance of the undercarriage of the bus is beyond simple now, because they can actually get under there and see what they're doing, whereas before they were having to lay down on a little, you know, scooter thing and slide under, and you can't see anything, it's dark. But now, yes, it is very much a game changer, and you know, all of the mechanics are very happy for that. We have our new Norgon diagnostic laptops, and so these are dealer-level diagnostic software that plug into the diagnostic port of the buses, and within minutes, the mechanics can easily diagnose whatever fault code may be on the dash, where before it could have took days, because when you don't have that dealer-level access, you're just kind of figuring that out on your own, of playing the process of elimination of like, okay, this isn't working and this isn't working, so this is probably the problem.
Like how I fix things.
Yeah. But now we get to plug that in, and it, you know, and it tells us what it is, and not only does it tell us what it is, it tells us how to fix it. And so they get, you know, step-by-step guides on, okay, do these steps, and here's how we fix this issue. And if we're still unsuccessful at that point, they also have a mobile technician that they can call, and the technician will work with them remotely to solve whatever their need is. Our new Freightliner Cascadia semi-truck to pull our beautiful band trailer. And this picture is recent. We took that today. It is now black. It just came back from the body shop, a brand new black truck, and it is ready for decals or whatever we plan on decking it out with to continue our LP pride. We got a Bitamek WashBot bus wash, so that is a fully mobile, battery-operated bus wash that is easy to push around. Even a little bitty lady can do it. I can do it. I haven't yet because it will get you soaking wet, but where before we were washing 3 buses in an hour with a broom and a mop bucket and a water hose, we're washing 6 to 8 buses an hour now, and so that, you know, productivity for that has more than doubled, and our wash crew is ecstatic. School year 22-23, we purchased 16 Thomas C2 school buses, 11 72-passenger route buses, and 5 41-passenger sped wheelchair-equipped buses. Our last bus for that order actually just rolled onto the lot last week on the 9th, and so we are complete and fully stocked with 16 brand new buses, and are eagerly awaiting our next order of 20 buses that is partially paid for with the TERP Clean School Bus Grant that we were very fortunate to get approved for $1.4 million. And so that'll be 15 additional 72-passenger route buses and 5 more 41-passenger sped route buses. We have 3 mechanics who are currently working on their TASBT or ASE certifications with our recent addition of our certification stipend. Thank you, board. They are very excited for that. We've got more classes coming up in February in League City, and so we're very hopeful that we'll have some more mechanics on board to get some certification going. And so TASBT is actually our Texas Association for School Bus Technicians, and so that's a Texas chapter. They do classes, you know, pretty much all over the state of Texas, usually in conjunction with our other state chapter for transportation, and they have their own certification. I mean, and they have classes, you know, of anything that you can think of, from AC to electronics to, you know, engine work, and kind of the same with ASE. ASE is the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence, and those are all online certifications. You can now test online, but they're very well known. You know, anytime you go and take your car to a mechanic shop, most of the time you're dealing with an ASE certified technician, and so those are a really great certification to have. They have one specifically for school buses and transit buses, and so the guys are eagerly wanting to get and work on that. We actually have one mechanic who has previously held a whole bunch of ASE certifications, and so now he's happy that he gets to go back and get his school bus certification for that. And finally, Buster the Bus. And so back in 1999, a transportation director, Mr. Brian Trousdale, actually purchased a Buster the Bus. And so Little Buster is a Robotronic school bus that is perfect to use for school bus demonstrations. The littles love him. He talks to you. He gets you engaged with his water squirting shenanigans. And we actually have a special guest star in the house tonight who would love to say hello to everybody. Hi, Buster.
Oh, is this the wonderful school board members you were
Yes,
talking
Buster,
about?
can you say hello to our board of trustees?
Hi. And from what I hear, it's National School Board Appreciation Month?
It is, Buster.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Now, Buster, there are no shenanigans tonight, okay? You've got to keep it to yourself.
But you kept me locked up for so long. One wheelie?
Okay, one wheelie.
Okay. I'm a little nervous. Hold on. Oh, is that Dr. Brownlee? I know who you are. I think I owe you something.
So, Buster the bus, he came a little bit late to our department. Back in October, we went to all of our elementary campuses and did school bus safety presentations for all of the babies. We bring them out to the bus, tell them about, how to sit on the bus, wearing your seatbelt, how to get off the bus in the event of an emergency. But now that Buster's here, February is Love the Bus Month, and so we are planning on going back to all of our campuses next month and doing some more demonstrations with our brand new friend, Buster.
Dr. Brownlee, what's that pretty lady sitting next to you? We can roll down Broadway. It was nice meeting you guys.
Bye, Buster.
Bye, Buster. How long have y'all had that?
Since 1999.
Oh, wow. That was high tech in 1999.
It was. But boy, that is all that I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Just a comment, really.
Yeah, that
Just,
was great.
Great job. Get in there, the ownership, the passion. That's the point of difference in things, and that takes you from, ordinary to extraordinary. So it's evident just in your presentation and the changes that have been made, and something that people really take for granted, right? So good job, and it's always, we think it's a win when we're not getting blown up about, people not answering the phone having to say, good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only question I had was, we've had, not all of them have been our fault, but some accidents. What are these trainings we're doing? Accident mitigation or any of those things? I know we do trainings on the regular, so walk us through accident, how we're preparing for that.
Of course, anything that we do is going to be beneficial to you and your skills as a bus driver, but accidents happen, things happen. Our most recent accident, I can say, happened simply from complacency. I know for myself, I've caught myself a couple of times driving, not here, but just in my career of driving, you get used to doing something every day and it becomes a habit. And, I don't know if, and maybe this is only me that it's happened to, and in my own car, you're driving along and all of a sudden it's like, was that a red light? Yeah. Or, did I stop there? You just get complacent in what you do, and that's one thing that causes accidents. That's very hard to combat. But anytime that we have an accident, we are always doing retraining. So what and it all varies on whatever kind of accident you had. So if you pulled out of a school parking lot and went into the other lane and hit a car, we're going to teach you about making sure that you have enough clearance to make your turn and proper mirror usage and anticipating car speed and there could be other factors to bus driver complacency, like are they getting enough sleep at night, are they well enough to be driving. We can send them back for another physical and make sure that they're still cleared to be driving. And so it really just it depends on what happened at the accident and what we need to work with you specifically on as the driver involved in that accident. But anytime that we have one, we are doing retraining with that driver.
Thank you. The other thing was we need to work probably with the city of LaPorte. Maybe someone saw on Facebook too a few times. Where having a lot of vehicles go past buses who are stopped, and I know it's nothing to do with us, but maybe if we can develop a little task force per se with LaPorte PD and Precinct 8 and those kind of people would love to be involved in that.
on Broadway.
It's very, very bad. So we need to figure out a way to work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and I have seen task force done just in other districts that I've worked in, where we go to those hotspot areas with police, and they'll sit somehow hidden behind a bus or in front of a bus or whatever, and as soon as cars blow by them, they go and pull them over, and they'll pull over 5, 6 at a time. So it's definitely a great thing to do, and it shows our drivers that that we're out there and we care about them and we want to fix these issues that they're seeing every day.
Thank you.
Alyssa, I appreciate your transparency and your honesty. Your presentation was phenomenal, by the way.
Yes.
But I appreciate the comments of complacency, but what causes, I guess it's complacency again, for a car to hit the bus, because we've had more instances of cars
It's
hitting
called
our
a cell
buses.
phone,
It
Dr.
is.
Jackson.
I think it's cell phone distraction.
9 times out of
Mason, we gotta come up with some.
Yeah.
training.
It's not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10 when you see a bus get rear-ended, somebody's driving down the road doing this,
We're
or
not saying
We've seen several of those this year already.
So I just want to say, it just dawned on me where my daughter may have gotten her whole stop for the bus thing, because if y'all did visit all the campuses and tell them, okay, when this comes out, they're supposed to stop it. I'm assuming y'all go through that with the little stop sign. I thought I was just being a good steward and telling my kids, like, getting angry at the people who pass the buses, but apparently, like, y'all have educated them as well, and I think that's a good thing too, because kids are the best tattletales. They're rapping. They're 100%, and I love that my kid knows that, and I'm going to ask her about it if that's where she got passionate about it, because I thought maybe it was just me rubbing off on it, but she told me that. So, yeah, good job. I think he's adorable. I'm super excited to do that.
Thank you.
I'll say, so this is I've been on board several years, we hear the reports, but this is the first year where our family has utilized the transportation. My 12-year-old baby in 6th grade is his first time to do that, and it's been an absolute blessing. I'm the weird one, right? All anxieties of the world, but like, I love the software that we have. I love getting alert that they're on their way, and it tells us how close they are. I love that when he's there, it checks him in when he gets on the bus, when he gets off the bus. I feel, and when we do have something that happens, you guys alert us. You're not hiding anything from us. And then I have a neighbor who has a special needs center, rides a special route, and there was an issue with that bus getting there later, and it was kind of the beginning of the school year, but when we called, you guys fixed that immediately, and so that family is so thankful for that. And so I know that can never be perfect, all these moving parts and the amount of people you got to transport, but the Martin family has been very, very thankful and grateful. Been very impressed with the service, the bus driver, and I apologize, I don't know his name, but on Benjamin's route, he's amazing. He always waves at the baby, and he's just so friendly and happy. I didn't know this, again, I feel bad being a board member, I didn't know this, but I love that you guys have monitors on each bus. That is huge. Like when I was a kid, a lot of stuff went on buses. And, but not that it's perfect now, but like I think that is such I know it's a cost to us, but I love that our district's doing that, and again, I commend you guys for that.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to say thank you so much for the willingness of the transportation department to work with the poor people that live in Bayside Terrace who have been living in a war zone for over a year. And it really means a lot. I know to the residents there that this resident included, that you guys have been willing to come when the bus slid off the road that day, and I just drove by and waved, and my son's like, but it really does mean a lot, because that could be really, it's been really stressful for us. We do appreciate the district being so willing to work with the city. It's been wonderful.
Alyssa has done a marvelous job of just culture shifting, and I mean, the bus drivers have always been wonderful. We're not saying they weren't wonderful, but she certainly helped to transform the culture there, and we appreciate that. But I also want to commend this board. A year ago, and David Yonder was still on the board at the time, and he was very adamant that we needed to get a consultant in and have some conversations, and Alyssa did not walk away from that challenge, and we brought in a phenomenal long timer, and he's been before the board. But many of the things, not all of the things, a lot of the things that you heard tonight were part of her leadership, but some of those things were part of what a consultant recommended for us and suggestions and those kinds of things. And so I just want to give you a public commendation for the work that you've done with your team, and we certainly appreciate all that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now move to item 7E, nutrition update. By Chef Extraordinaire.
Good luck following that bus.
Where's your bus?
I know it's the magic school bus is going to be here.
Miss Frizzle.
Swap next time, please. Be a final presentation here. Come on, we try. I found it, thank you. We do try. So, good evening, President Hanks, Board Trustees, and Dr. Jackson. On behalf of the school nutrition team, happy Board Recognition Month, and thanks for all you do. In addition to that, thanks for serving for November, I think. Folks came out and served on the lines. The team loved it. They appreciated it. It was a magical, magical time for us. Thank you very much. Just for the record, in the internet audience, my name is Ralph Wilkins. I'm privileged to be your school nutrition director.
Will you read all those letters after your name, please?
I don't. None of them stand for
Quite
literate.
credential for the people on the internet.
MBA, MSRD, LDS. There we go. So, short presentation for you and some stats here. We serve about over 5,000 lunches, free lunches, 2,100 free breakfasts every day. And I didn't put it on here, but we also serve about 100 free snacks to the students doing enrichment at Baker and LaPorte Elementary to help get them through that time and not be hungry. It's a magical thing. About 400 of those lunches you see every day are probably due to our CEP, our free meal program, but a chunk of them are due to our dynamic menu cycles and our food options. We have a unique menu. Normally, just for the record, school nutrition, most schools, I'd say almost all, operate on a cycle menu where you serve something. You have 4 weeks. At the end of week 4, you go back, start over week 1. We don't. We have a wacky one that nobody seems to understand. We're trying to teach people, but we have a rotating menu that's instead of being like a graph, it's more like a Rubik's Cube. And it allows us to focus on the things kids like, know where to experiment with new items without costing participation. It's worked. It's really good. We've been asked to teach it across the state to other districts, and we recently thought, I won't say your name, but several large districts have reached out and said, how do you do that? Can you explain? And it's a cool thing for us. Part of our appeal is our fresh fruits and vegetables. We go far above what's recommended or required to make sure kids are getting fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, and a lot of that is locally sourced. We work our menu planner, Catherine, and I are on state panels, trying to help other districts learn how not to be daunted. It's a lot to reach out to local farmers, folks who may not be amenable to signing a contract with a federal entity, right? it's tough, right? Hey, I'd like to buy a carrot, it's great.
But his truck is clean, I promise.
Here's 12 forms to fill out, but we work hard on it. We've got a lot of good relationships, and we've the great thing is once you reach out to somebody who's maybe apprehensive about partnering with the school district, and I don't want to be official, and they learn it's not that bad, and it's good for them and good for the kids. We're able to connect them with other districts, and it's a win-win for local farmers. It's one of our things we're really passionate about. In fact, on that I can see on the left here, that is a watermelon caprese salad. That is local cheese. We partnered with the mozzarella company in Dallas. They shipped us cheese overnight. That's watermelon from the valley. And thanks to us, thousands of LaPorte kids got to learn that they don't like balsamic vinegar. But it saves them time and embarrassment later in life when they go out, and I'll take the caprese. So we're always out to educating people. So we now produce our menus in Spanish. We realize there's a population we're not reaching. It was after one of the discussions here about our Spanish-speaking population. I said, we can do this. This is very easy to do. So we started producing Spanish menus. And I would just like to put out that our kitchens have an average health inspection of 99.5 this year. Yes. It'd be a lot better if we went for that 98 because they didn't like some of our ceiling tiles, which are now fixed. But that's the kind of an open dumpster lid. Yeah. Mr. Hanks knows. Yes. It does not take much. Can I see light around your door? Ding.
They walk around the meter to see if there's enough lumens off the light.
It is tough to prepare food, and according to these standards, and LaPorte, we keep our facilities clean and healthy, and that's thanks to our maintenance department as well, and everybody supports the department. So
here. A little bit about the program, just a reminder of how we got the free meal program, how we got that option for the kids. Again, all enrolled students get their meals at no cost, and this is the first year of 4 years. I would love to keep the cat in the bag and come out excited. Guess what? We're doing it again, but let's just tell you, it's 4 years. Okay. And we'll see. This is a federal program, and I've learned not to ever assume something will be there later. So we're happy for what we have. We're going to keep reapplying as long as the program's out there. Again, I put eliminates the applications. It actually prohibits them. Your school nutrition department is allowed to do no action to ask somebody, what's your socioeconomic status for the purpose of meals. It's a big deal. Once you go CEP, it's no longer connected to your meal status. It's a big deal. And it helped remove, of course, barriers. I think the first slide I said healthy, accessible meals. We want to remove those barriers, and that's not just money. It's time and location. And we will, if kids come in late from some exercise in the morning or some event, find us. We will get, the doors are never closed for us. If it's compliant and allowable, we do it to make sure kids have access to meals. One thing it did, the CEP program was it changed our reimbursement from being here's what you get per meal, black and white, to a formula-based program where it's now tied to the meal and the kid and the campus and the time of day, left-handed, right-handed. It got so complicated, but it works out because it gets free meals. And I remember Trustee Martin asked at the start of the year, will there be any changes to food quantity or quality? It's the same rules. It really only affected the kids need to pay or need not to pay. It maintains the prohibition against any meal subsidies using federal funds. That is a Code of Federal Regulations statute that came along with it. I get asked that every year, and I'd love to give answers that people want to hear, but the federal government is very strict about this. And it actually goes back to, I believe, Ronald Reagan's presidency in an effort to constrain the federal budget. No subsidies for adults. And that's still in place. And luckily, the CEP program allows us to keep the main thing the main thing. That's a phrase I learned a couple of years ago, and I thought it makes sense. And for us, it's not just about meals. We can do so much more. And I feel that for me, my role is to make sure that our team members can reach their full potential, to assist them in that, so that this department can be of full use to the district and the community. So, what else we got here? We're not just active inside the kitchen or cafeteria, we get out and about. I don't know if you've seen our hydroponics classroom at Bayshore. It is the only one of its kind in the state, I believe. I'm sure someone will correct me one day, but I believe it's the biggest program like that. It's been wonderful. It gives us a lot of opportunities to interact with the kids. I love that if they see the light on in that room, even if I'm trying to hide and clean something, Mr. Wilkins is here, and there comes, I'm like, well, the door is locked, and there comes that key open. It's like, oh, the teacher had a key. So it's really, really wonderful. We have a literacy initiative we started a few years ago, where during March, I believe is Literacy Month, we purchase books that are related to food and nutrition. We're again mandated to only do things that support student nutrition, but education is part of that. So we get books like Green Eggs and Ham, Every Night is Pizza Night, the Good Egg, the Bad Seed, I think it is. There's a whole series of books, the Good Egg, the Bad Seed, the Angry Potato, stuff like that. We get those. We produce a newsletter we attach to the K through 5 menus every month. That every month details some new bunch of facts and jokes that I think they're funny, at least. That's all that matters. Yeah, right? Yeah. A bunch of dad jokes, the kids love them. This month, I think the focus is grapefruit. So, there's that notion out there that grapefruit's bitter and unpleasant, and the newsletter, we talk about, yeah, you're right, but here's things you can do about that to make grapefruit taste a little better. We have a robust catering operation. We do dozens of activities for the district every month. Proudly, it lets our folks do things that you wouldn't do in the kitchen for school meals, but lets you know you can prepare things. They have skills, they have abilities that we like to let them shine. We do a lot of the Bulldog Bridge partnership. We have a lot of pride. That's one of our prides and joys. We had the pleasure recently of seeing one of our students graduate. It was a wonderful day. The young man had been with us for 3 years or so. And it was really great to see him come do on-the-job training and take that out there with him. And we still have students doing it. We're looking for other kids and sites to partner with and see who else wants to see if this is for them. We do a lot of classroom education from high school to pre-K. Doesn't matter. We'll teach regular health, biochemistry, business math, food math. We'll do just about anything. We are awfully open to anything a teacher asks. We'll find a way to make it relate to school and nutrition, and we do campus events. We do a lot of wellness fairs, and you will see we have we've purchased 2 blender bikes. So you get on it, there's a blender at the front, we put stuff in it. If you want your smoothie, you got to make it yourself. That's great. So look for those coming up to some of the health fairs. I believe LP in 30th.
I'll go thirsty.
The bees, it starts with the bees. That starts with B, it's a good idea. And as I said before, we serve on several panels for the state and local and nationwide organizations promoting school meals, and we also do a lot of industry lectures on budget, school nutrition, budget development, menu planning, and any topic that we get asked about. It's really a pleasure. I think that's the end. Yes, thank you. Any questions?
Well, I want to say that I think you do a phenomenal job leading this department, and that's not just coming from me, that's coming from some of your employees.
Thank you.
That one of my favorite days of school year so far was serving meals at College Park, so I appreciate that opportunity that you gave us board members where we could go and serve meals. Not only was it fun, I learned a lot about the different food options. And that particular day, we were serving a brisket pizza.
Yes, yeah.
And that was sourced by a company in Humble, if my memory serves me.
San Antonio, actually. Yeah, it's locally. It's Texas brisket, Texas cows.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was really cool, the different food options that I learned about that day and how the kids get to choose what they like. And it was just a great day. But I appreciate all the work you do. And I think it'd be great for him to go to TASB with us someday and present about the hydroponics program.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're just doing a great job. And whenever Adam and I went to Baker to serve lunch, your staff just has so much pride in what they do. And that, I mean, it's remarkable to see. Adam and I had to leave a little early, so we were saying we just felt horrible about leaving early and getting it. And I said, are y'all sure you're going to handle it? And they're like, you're slowing us down. But we can handle it. Don't worry, y'all take off. But it was a lot of fun, and it showed us how the job's not easy, and they keep a positive attitude. They're smiling.
Yes, sir.
You know, they know the kids' names. You know, that's remarkable. They come up. Here, Billy, how's your pizza? I'm like, Billy, you need to try the biscuit nacho. They're like, how the heck do you know these kids' names? You know that you're seeing them so quick, but they make relationships, and you just do a great job, and so does your team. So thank you.
Thank you. We try.
Thanks, sir.
There was one thing that concerned me. All these big districts, you talk about reaching out and get your expertise. I hope they're not accompanying that with job offers. So I think we need to put some bugs in his email and make sure we're monitoring. No, I mean, I love everything about what we're doing, especially with the CEP. That is such, I mean, I don't know if we all realize what a blessing that is for these kids. That we have a population in LaPorte that they only get fed breakfast and lunch, and so that's a huge deal. And I know, man, this is kind of outside the box, but I appreciate you kind of looked into this. I said, we went to a presentation a while back, Deanna and I did, and there's some colleagues from Longview, and they're talking about they can go through the line multiple times. I know you can't do that with this program.
Yes, sir.
But I guess my ask is, if we have some kind-hearted people and some foundations in this town that are sending kids home every Friday with backpacks full of non-perishable food items. And those same people have reached out to them. We want to do more. There's some. I personally have a mentee to the health program that there's been numerous times that this child has been hungry. They love the nutrition, but they still they don't get full because they're just not eating enough at home. And my ask, I guess, is without having a full plan on this, but if we were to find a way to work with the counselors to identify the kids that are truly in need of this type of a thing, would it be possible for the citizens or somebody to fund an account to where we could, so that is a possibility we can bring that to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll let you kind of take the lead on that. So
Absolutely. We're doing some phenomenal things, but it's just heartbreaking. We have these kids that, the base necessity is getting fed. We feed them, and we're doing our part. We can't do everything, but I know that.
Yes, sir.
But it's just we still in LaPorte, Texas, have kids that aren't getting enough, and so if we can help them, that would be amazing.
That's absolutely a possibility.
Awesome.
when I served, I asked the question, about the leftovers, because I know that they try to roll some things over from day to day, and then over the weekend, there are certain things that can and can't, and then, you're kind of at a stop on that. But there was the thing, yes, we'd love to be able to do something with leftovers and pack them up for kids, but then somebody has to be here to be able to distribute them to kids. And so I understand that there's something holding us back with that, but if there are resources to help do something about that, that would be a great.
That one's a little tougher because we have to ensure it's one thing, a handicapped meal, but to ensure it gets home. And I don't mean safely, it's going to get crushed, but that it maintains food safety. So we want to have, you need a chain of custody to make, hey, how long before you reach the home today, we'd hate for you to eat this.
Okay,
and
so
it's,
there are things like
yeah, so it'd be a process to make sure, like, when, what is your path home, how long will this stay warm, and there's possibilities now. But it's a food safety and health inspection issue. The Good Samaritan laws only cover so much. We want to make sure, like, how's this going to get to you, and will it be food safe by the time it gets there? But yes, ma'am.
Which is why non-perishables are so much better through your backpacks.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job.
We'll go to F, our bond safety and security update. Brahma.
Close for you.
Good luck following all that.
I mean, not a whole lot of excitement. There's always excitement here. Oh, Buster. Matt's over there. Okay. Good evening, President Hanks, Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson here for your January update as it relates to bond programming and safety and security here in the Porte ISD. Lomax is off and running. We've got a lot of work going on out there. Obviously, the demolition and the soil work with the earthwork. So that's really what they're working on now. They're going to start digging out the holes for the piers for the base of the foundation. So here in the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing some concrete work out there. And then if you recall last month, I kind of showed you an overview of Lomax, or a month before. But in the northeast corner back there will be a detention pond that we'll put in. It's underground, just like at the stadium, so you won't see it. But that'll be a lot of the work that'll go on in the beginning. And once they get that covered up, then you'll start to see some of the structure take place. But storm line installation, all of that, we're fully permitted. I think the city approved the SCUP last night. Larky texted me a night or two ago, so we're off and running there. But things are moving at pace. We're on schedule. Everything looks good. We just continue to pray not only at this site, but at the Bulldog Stadium for good weather and not rain, because those days obviously affect the calendar. Any questions on Lomax?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Soccer goals.
Soccer goals. Yeah, so we got a plan.
You got a plan?
Yeah,
we've put those goalposts in there for doing all of that, because that's such a...
We've got a plan with that, and then we've got an issue with the help me, concrete.
Okay.
Shot put.
Yeah.
That's the other piece that the site got on top of. So working with Coach Thompson, we've already got that going. Bulldog Stadium, off and running, got the track down. It's about 99% complete. It may be done now. This was today. I walked out there and you can see the gentleman on the curb. So both D-rings are complete. The high jump side, which is on the north end of the complex, the south side's complete fully. That's the surface. Obviously, that's the track surface. And the next step to that will be striping it. So they'll come out and they'll put the actual stripes down and all the different markers as it relates to the track. So that'll pretty much complete the stadium inside on the floor level. Right, so your turf, it's about 95%. All that's left with that, they put the Brock infill in, which is the wood chip component. They'll come out and they'll start to, they brush it and lay it down, so that's all that's left there. But essentially the turf is done, and it really took shape with that. It's beautiful. I hope you like it. It looks good. The colors pop, and the black track, everything just kind of stands out. So they're actually at a point now, they're starting to clean and pressure wash the brick. So it's really taking shape at the bottom and kind of closing out. They did install the speaker poles over this last week, so you've kind of seen those stand up. There will be speakers on the anchor, so it's like a surround sound system in the stadium. The lights and the speakers both are very unique. With the lights are the RGB, so they actually can light up all orange when we score a touchdown or a soccer goal or a band or whatever we're doing out there. So we've got the ability to do some cool things with them, so we're excited about that. Press box will be the first thing that wraps up on that side of it. Stadium floor, the track and the turf, and then we'll move into the press box. And it's getting real close. They laid carpet this last week. They've got some of the tile components down. You can kind of see some pictures there. The kitchen area on the third floor and the fourth floor are almost complete. We've got some of those appliances coming in, so we'll start putting those in. The furniture should arrive in February, so we'll have that getting furnished out. HVAC's fully functional. Down on the first level, that picture on the bottom left, they're putting the terrazzo in the entry there at the press box. And there'll be some TV components there, and then some signage will soon start to come up. So very close there at the press box. Feel very good about that. And it's, again, they're at this point on the fourth level, they're just cleaning it. So the painting's complete. There's just some wall components that they're working on, but really overall, it's coming to a good close there. Legacy Complex obviously is the layer of the project that's going to end at the very end, but a lot of work going on in the entryway when you walk in. That's actually work from today. So they're putting the terrazzo down, which is a crazy process. I've never seen it. It doesn't look real good when they first do it. It looks like a bunch of mud, right? And that's kind of what they call it. So, but anyway, they're working on that. They did frame out the lockers. Remember, we got 4 programs in that facility. So that right now we program that for girls and boys soccer and girls and boys cross country and track. It's programmable for both boys and girls. So in a year, if we want to change that, we've got the ability to put whoever and whatever in there. It's got all those ADA and Title IX compliant pieces in it. Just some pictures there for you on the second floor. They're drywalling the PD center, and they're going to start hanging the ceiling in there. So that's going to close out as well. HVAC is closed. That's important. You know, we're about out of the element. They're waiting for the track to wrap up, and then they're going to concrete the dirt that's in front of the field house or the complex. And then the people can come in on a lift and put up the video board. So that's about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks out, and then you'll start seeing the big video board start to take place. They're going to lay it on our turf and bring it up. You saw this last month. I just put it up here because we've just got a lot going on, and we're hoping to get some updates. But as we stand, we continue to look at a substantial completion of the stadium in February, and then Legacy Complex for May. Competition gym will run into August of 25, right? And then this summer we'll start the fine arts renovation inside Lomax, as well as the high school. And right now, the theater, we've got spring, but there's a chance that moves up. I'm working with our team. That's a project we're doing as Porte ISD. So we're starting to work with Matt Berg, the high school team, just to see what that may take. So we may piece that together instead of trying to do it all at once, do the rigging, do the sound, and so forth. So I'll have an update soon for y'all on what all will go into that project. We're just not quite there yet.
Is Tellefs and Gallagher Huckabee doing all of these projects?
All of those, right now, the theater, we went in contract with them to do some of that for us. We just don't know exactly what that may. We may be able to do it in-house and not have to get that interest and that percent rate that they get when they work with us. Okay. Questions on this?
I'm going to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to be ready?
The track? So here's the, and Doc may have explained this to you guys. We are living off one permit. That is the issue. If we permitted just the stadium and then permitted just the field house or the complex, we'd probably be in a different scenario. But right now, they live in one permit, which means if the stadium finishes, the egress and the life safety part of allowing people to come in is still a problem because it's connected to the field house. So we're working with the fire marshal. We actually have a meeting with him Thursday to see if maybe what his levels of comfort are with us when we get to that point of February, at the end of February, and if so, possibly going back to the city and breaking that apart and doing a revision of the permit.
If we can do it, Mr. Shelby will certainly will.
That's right.
We just don't know that we have
Yeah. There's too many things in the air right now.
The discus ring out there, how are they going to mark that? Is it, I mean, 'cause it goes on to the football field, correct?
At the stadium?
No, at the
auxiliary.
Auxiliary. In the discus ring out there at the auxiliary?
Yes, it is.
How is it marked? I mean, is it going to go onto the how are we going to mark that?
It should be its own base. It should have its own sand pit.
The lines that go out there, it goes out to the turf field, doesn't it?
Yes.
It does? Okay, they have lines out there for it?
It should, or we'll be putting them in when it comes around to it, yeah. We are padding the concrete structure back there in the corner.
In that corner?
Out there. Yeah.
As soon as we can apply for permits from the city, we better get on that.
Yeah, we are
aware of that.
We're already starting with the high school because we're worried about that with the SCUP. And, you know, we're coming on history of things that we didn't know we didn't have, so.
Have we looked into, I know whenever we were at city council that we had a zoning issue. Have we been able to go and look at all of our properties yet, or are we still working on that?
We're still working through that, yeah. So, but we're well aware of our.
Remember, that just recently changed for us.
It did.
That was not always like that.
Right. Yeah. It's been a journey as far as just, plots of land, and even the high school, and how much it's split up here, and the history behind it, because you've got to find all that when you go get electric and gas and new meters.
I know, that's what I'm worried about.
Right.
Getting
So,
the project.
but we've got a good team on it, and I think we've learned, you know, through the first beginning of it, correct, of being well ahead of where we need to be. Lomax went fairly smooth. We didn't lose a lot of time on that, so we expect the high school to be the same when we start doing that.
And I'll say, you know, in this meeting to the board, the city has certainly been more than gracious to work with us moving forward.
Yes,
So,
they have. It's a
I've been
different
very
world
pleased.
now.
I've been very pleased with that.
And I'll say this, that California, they were saying that if you were to pull a permit, right now, before the fires, 32 months from you applying for the permit to laying your first brick. That is how long it takes.
Wow.
That was before the fire.
Before the fire.
Right.
So now they're trying to fix that, like 30 to 32 months before, from permit to brick.
Right.
That's how long the process is. So ours looks great.
Right.
We're light years.
We're in good shape. But yes, I mean, we learn every step of the way. We learn on, you know, what could we have done better, or, you know, what layers and what avenues. I think it was just such a bad time, and just the way it all worked out just wasn't in our favor. So, yes, sir.
There's something I was curious about months back, and I just forgot to ask until it triggered this evening with the sound system.
Yes, sir.
So I know that, like, when we have graduation, we typically have to outsource the
Yes, sir.
the production, right, the speakers, and pretty substantial cost. Will the new stadium, we'll still have to.
Oh, no, the new stadium does
That's
all
what,
that.
so we'll be able to waive all that.
Correct.
Perfect.
That's right. So
This may be the only year we might have to do it based off what permits
Yes.
and all things. we
To
do.
be safe, we've been in contract and went under contract for this year just to be safe. I mean, you know, we have full confidence that we'll have the
That-
ability, but
again, I don't
after
have-
that, we will never have to do that
It's a
again.
pretty substantial amount, right, that will save
It's
us every
12
year?
grand.
It's 12.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you know, that's a company, Deer Park, us, a lot of people, I used it in my former district, just because they're convenient, but our stadium can do every bit of that. So once we get past that, we'll never have to use it.
Russell's gonna be sad it doesn't go to him anymore, but other than that.
We speak so much, obviously, and as we should, about the stadium and Lomax, because those are big construction items. But don't forget, we do so much over the breaks and all the time. Blake's team and our in-house team is constantly doing projects and working at campuses when we can, and doing flooring and doing all the things. And we've got such good men and ladies that work for us that can do the work. We're very blessed, and I mean that. You can see pictures here. This is not a vendor that came out and did this. These are our people. So we're constantly looking at flooring and painting. We do a mixture of painting. We've got some in-house painting. We also have some vendors that so we can do it quicker. We found that to be more beneficial to us. So we're going to start working on our summer projects, which is always a big push for us. I'll have an update soon for y'all what that looks like, but we will have a big district-wide furniture cycle. We're trying to get that on a pattern. We've not done a good job as a district of buying desks every other year and just kind of looking at it instead of having to spend millions of dollars on things. So Blake's doing a good job working with the principals of just kind of outlining what do you need now, what can you foresee in the future, and then how can we get on a cycle, because we got to get in a better place budget as to what that looks like, as well as other furniture in the campuses. So that'll be a big deal. Plumbing's a problem in our district. That's just a problem. It's a problem in every district because you got older buildings, and you know they built in 1970s and 80s, and you're just dealing with issues. So we're doing a district-wide plumbing review and trying to figure out areas of concern. LaPorte Junior High, DeWalt, there's several. All the principals are like, oh, my place. But we're aware of that. You know, Blake's team goes and they do what they can, but there's issues that are bigger than just a normal plumber coming out. So we're trying to analyze that and see what that looks like for summer stuff.
It's
so
commercial property, period. When you have volume, we had five restaurants this weekend, just between Thursday and Sunday.
Right. You know,
crazy.
So it's
one of those plumbing things. So I know we talked about it a long time ago. Those pipes at Baker, they go real loud. Is that fixed?
We fixed that.
Okay.
Do it again. What does it sound like?
So what that was,
it's air.
They were miserable.
So Baker, and y'all may know this, some that's been here a long time. ITC was a piece of the city component as a shelter or like an incident command place upstairs, right there. You know, set up for the city and you know ready food and. Baker also was built in that same concept where we have a giant water storage tank that holds enough water in case we lose it, it can support us in that facility. That was the issue. We ended up finding out. So we had to flush that entire unit, and we lost water during the PD event, I think, and so that was fun. But anyway, that seemed to be the issue, and we were able to fix it. We changed some valves in there as well, and so we've solved that problem. It was bad, so I'm glad we were able to take care of it.
And to my knowledge, the city was excited when we were building that building, but I don't think they've used it as an incident command center.
I believe we've had to. I know, working with Johnny, when we've hurricanes come through, we do initiate and conversate about the possibility of, but they've kind of moved and created some things on their own side, so it's there for them. It's a part of our agreement.
For like in 21 when we had the freeze for a Warren station.
Yeah, we kind of stage in there. When we had the pipeline fire, we staged out of there. I mean, it's a Cat 5 rated facility. Generator, that thing.
Yeah.
That's where y'all need to go, right? If it's all going down. So.
So Ron, I'll give you kudos before I forget. You triggered something else. I heard through the grapevine. You know, we have. I'm not knocking our janitorial staff because that job, God bless them. But I'd heard that some campuses where we wasn't as thorough, I guess, and your team came in, and I heard hired some of the A-teamers that came in and kind of got us back on the right track and did a phenomenal job with that. So I just give you guys kudos for.
Thank you.
That's a thankless job, but
that's Blake and Misty Nicola and their group who we put a lot of energy with the blessing of Doc and some supports and added positions of being able to go and do that. But we named some lead custodians, which has helped us from a structure standpoint as a point of contact for our principals. But thank you. We're nowhere near where we need to be. But we have made huge strides, I believe, as far as getting our buildings clean. That's the most important thing we can do, right, for our kids. Right, it is, and so we're getting there. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Lighting is always a piece for us. We've got a few facilities that are left. We were blessed with OxyChem. If you remember the 50,000, so we've already put those things in place with the DeWalt upgrade and the Jenny Reed upgrade, and then we're going to continue that with our bond cycles to kind of finish that out. That is a point of emphasis for Mr. Warren as he looks at things, ensuring lights get turned off. We have safety lights that don't get turned off that sometimes you see in hallways, but generally speaking, we've got to do a better job at ensuring that our facilities are turned off so those energy bills can stay at the lowest we can get them. And then campus renovations. There's going to be continual signage. The 50 and 0 or 40 and 0 was put up. If you've not seen it at the Bulldog Center, Special Programs has got one, and we're going to put another one on her building. So that'll kind of continue throughout the district. Just a beautification, makes it look like it connects, and it looks good. We've got some library renovations over the summer that we're going to work on, College Park and so forth. So a lot of stuff going on. I just don't want you guys to forget all the work that Blake and his team are doing. I know the stadium, of course, and Lomax and the high school at the forefront, but there's a lot of daily stuff that those bond funds are being used for, is what I'm getting at. Yes, ma'am. That is Rizzuto. No, that's LPE. Right. LPE, and then that's the high school with the fine arts. It was the floods that the water got in there.
Okay, that was
I mean, Blake and his team are doing a great job. Like I said last time, we went to Bayshore, you could tell that, heck, all the plants had tags still on them. From outside and doing the improvements and stuff. It's very noticeable, and even staff and teachers that we talk to are noticing some great improvements.
Yeah, the grounds are in a good place.
Yeah. But
drive up, you go.
My mom would be very happy to see the 40 and 0 sign at the top of the.
Yes, you would.
Real quick on safety, as it never sleeps, as we always continue to put it at the forefront. Tonight, one of the approval items is a strategic responder sites. This is just a phase 2 from a funding standpoint to get responder units, beacons at these 4 sites. So what that means is currently at the administration building, staff has badges, right? But if they trigger it here, it's not going to sound as a site. We have sidecars here, so we have another mechanism that we use. But we're going to go ahead and make all our facilities in the district live. So that's kind of what that is. So that's administration, ITC, support services, and special programs. An update on IDA. This is something we typically don't talk about unless I have to come in front of you and say we failed one. Right? So this year we've had 9 of 12 so far done. February will be our next month, and we have had no findings. So 100% of our campuses so far have passed. I can tell you in our network, Mr. Wycliffe somewhere back there, I don't know any district that has had 100% pass in a year. So we're close. We ain't finished yet, but I do want to give kudos to those 9 campuses and the work that they've done, because that's when they come in, they try to gain entry in the campus. You got to show them the door sweeps and then talk through all that process. So we've not, last year we failed quite a few. The year before we failed quite a few, and that's okay. But we strive to be perfect. So just an update. And then safety and security committees in February. One thing we're going to talk to that committee about is AI cameras. It's really a next layer for us, and this wouldn't be a thing that we would do across the district. It would be at simple points of secondary more than likely, but at entry points. This is something we're going to talk with them about. If we go any further, obviously Dr. Jackson will speak with you guys about it, but that's just the next layer for us. I feel like we're at a very good point safety-wise. We're just at a point of getting good at what we've got instead of trying to add things to it. Okay, any questions?
I'm just curious, what is the AI?
So these things do everything: facial recognition, weapon detection. Oftentimes, if you're dealing with a situation and trying to locate a student fast, you can put tags in there, and then it'll locate it for you, and then it walks you through the cameras, where you're not having to go to 16 cameras that takes you an hour and a half to do something along those lines. So, is it something that we need? I'm not sure. So it's something for the committee to kind of review, and then you can kind of look at. This would not be a big thing that we would do. We'd be a slow piece to see if it's even worth our while. But it would be the next layer of kind of who we are. But yeah, just right now it's just kind of a review.
We saw some demos on that. I believe Ian's brother.
Yeah, Homeland does that, and we've been in conversation with them. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. All right, we'll move to item 8, receive the 2023-24 district annual reports, including Texas Academic Performance Report paper.
Good evening, President Haynes, Board of Trustees, Dr. Jackson. I am here to walk us through the public hearing of our 23-24 district annual report as required by TEA. In this report, we are required to talk about 8 particular components. Many of these you've already heard from, so we're going to walk through them, but the most recent addition to this is the TAPER report, which will be the bulk of this conversation. So section 1 of this annual report is to talk about the 23-24 Texas Academic Performance Report, or the TAPER report. This report is compiled by TEA for every district and campus using PEAMS data and using student assessment data, or STAR, as we fondly refer to it. The 23-24 TAPER report is published as a PDF. It includes a wide range of information about the district and campus. It disaggregates this data by student groups, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and provides extensive information on the school and district staff, programs, and student demographics. It is a robust reporting of our district.
That's a nice word.
On the cover page, I think you all have a copy of the TAPER report there. The cover page provides some specific information regarding our district. It only includes the district, our campus name and number, and typically the cover page will also include our accountability rating. The determination status for our special education students is on the district TAPER only. Any distinction designations that our district or campus has received, and any information about our ASVAB. Also on this report, to talk about the accountability rating, you will not see it posted on the 23-24 TAPER report because, as you know, the accountability calculations and system has been under litigation. That is supposed to, I'm not going to try to guess, I don't remember exactly when that's supposed to come to the courts, but when and if that rule should change, that can change the TAPER report, which is published online, and then we will update our published copies on our district.
Do you think that's going to happen anytime soon?
So remember, there are 2 separate lawsuits. I am not part of the second lawsuit, nor are y'all. You were part of the first group. The first one, which is the 2022-23, that one we argued to the 15th Court of Appeals in September, and we are waiting for, no, I'm sorry, it was early December. We're waiting for a decision on that. and then we'll see what the state decides to go either way. The new lawsuit, I don't know that much about. I know that the trial court stayed release of the 23-24 ratings, and I don't know the status of that, but I can find out.
We haven't received them from season 1.
Right.
And we're going into a testing season now in 25, so it really won't matter.
It will be a moot point, but if we do remember, we did provide you with a prediction based on official TEA data that we received, and we felt pretty confident about that prediction when we provided that to you. So we'll see. The rules for this go-round are not going to be different than what are being challenged in the courts. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, the difference is just simply that we had the information ahead of time. And so I think the argument for the courts is the last go-round, we didn't know the rules of the game before we played, and so now we have all the rules, and now we're going to play. So
correct.
I suspect that the accountability manual will hold. The other portion on the cover page you will see is the special education determination status. We get this every year, and we meet all requirements for that. The TABOR report contains many subsections. It talks about STAR performance data, attendance, graduation, and dropout rates, graduation profile, college, career, military readiness, or CCMR, and then it also provides detailed information about our students and our staff. So the biggest chunk of information in the TABOR report is, of course, our students' performance on STAR as reported for 24 and 23. So it gives us a 2-year comparison. It provides us information on 3 performance rates: approaches grade level or above, meets grade level or above, and master's grade level. This information is reported for each assessment, including SAT and ACT for accelerated testers. It's reported for all grades and subjects. It's reported for all grades by subject, and it's reported for students' enrolled grades. So in other words, by separate grades at the meets level or above. So for reading and math, 3 through 8 assessments only, 3 through 8 assessments in the EOC, and then for reading and math, 3 assessments in EOCs and math. It's a lot. So in other words, they take one test, one set of data, and they spin it 425 ways. So for our references today, we're going to talk a little bit about just the all subjects and the STAR performance as a whole. This chart shows you on the very, very left how our state performed at the approaches in the orange, the meets in the blue, and the masters in purple. To the right of that is the district performance, and then across the way you'll see the breakdown by our subpopulations. And you notice that we outperform the state in our students' performance at approaches and meets, and we are almost on par with our state performance at the master's level. And this is all grades, all subjects. So you take all the tests, put them all together, and this is how it fleshes out. The next chart shows us all grades in reading and ELAR. Again, the far left, you'll see the state performance, orange approaches, meets in blue, masters in purple. Next to it is our district performance. And again, we outperform the state at approaches and meets and are nearly on par with them at the master's level in all grades for reading ELAR. In mathematics, the chart reads the same. You'll see the state performance on the very left. You'll notice that we again outperform the state in approaches and meets. And then we are on par with them at the master's level for mathematics. In science, again, district and state on the very far left, and you'll see we once again outperform the state in approaches and meets, and we are almost on par with how we perform at the state level in masters. And for social studies, again, we outperform the state in approaches and meets, and we are on par with how the state performs at our master's level. And again, this is all grades and subjects, all grades for social studies combined. Just to note that in the science area, the American Indian subpop is not here due to the small numbers of the small numbers of that population. The other portions of the TABOR report include attendance, graduation, and dropout reported for 22 and 23 and 21-22. But what's important to note about this is that the data was not there in time to include for the 23-24, and so that's why this is a year behind in terms of its reporting. We look at attendance rate, chronic absenteeism, dropouts, and then longitudinal, extended longitudinal graduation rates. We look at the 4-year federal graduation rate without exclusions, and then the graduation plan rates. That's a lot. We also look at the graduation profile, the 22-23 graduates. Again, it's a trailing year, and those graduates are reported by in total, and then also by their ethnicities, by their graduation types, and by their student/program attribute, like the special education status, so ECHO Ds, etc., EB, at-risk, CTE completers, and so on. So taking a look in total at our attendance, chronic absenteeism, dropout, and graduation rates, you can see that this again is the 22-23 data. You can see that our attendance rate is just below the state. Our chronic absenteeism is at 23.6%, which is a 10% decrease over the year prior. We had a huge gain in capturing students being chronically absent, which is 10 or more days of absences. So that's a huge plus for our district. And then also our attendance rate increased over 90.8% from the year prior. So that's 1.4 percentage points from the year prior. So some things to celebrate here in terms of the work we're doing with absences and attendance. Some other pieces of the TAPER report in terms of college, career, and military readiness, or CCMR. Again, this is trailing data, so we're looking at information from 22-23 and 21-22. Gives you the total number of CCMR graduates, the number of college-ready graduates overall, and by specific college-ready indicator, and CCMR career and military-ready graduates overall, and by specific career/military-ready indicator. It also indicates information about those kinds of, specifically those CCMR indicators, so TSI results. We look at the number of students taking and receiving college prep course credit, the AP or IB, we don't have IB here, but our AP results, and our SAT or ACT results. Other post-secondary indicators that are reported in the TAPER include our students' performance on advanced or dual credit course completions, graduates who are enrolled in Texas institutions of higher education in the 21 and 22 and the 2021 school years, again, all trailing information, and then graduates in the Texas Institutes of Higher Education completing 1 year without enrollment in a developmental education course. So all of that is included there. So here you can see a snapshot of some of this information about CCMR. Some things to note: our CCMR rate increased from 69.6% in the year prior to 86.6% on this TAPER. That is up 17 percentage points, and we are well above where the state is in their CCMR. And you can see here some of our CCMR indicators. One of the things that I want to point out to you is that our IBC rate, or our approved indice-based certification performance of our students, increased from 30.4% in the year prior to what you see here, which is 58.4%. So that's a 28% point increase for the students being successful on those IBCs. So some really great work from our team on just ensuring that our students not only have an aligned sequence of CTE courses, but ensuring that they have an IBC that aligns to that they take and are successful on at the end. Student information on the TAPER report breaks down our student enrollment data in a number of ways to help us understand the community of learners that we serve. And you can see there that, again, you take a student and you divide them 100 ways to show what they represent. And so here's some information about our current enrollment. And you can see that we have a changing demographic here in the district. One other point to note is that the ethnicity is not substantially changed from the year prior. Other student enrollment information, this is based on student programs or other areas to which they subscribe in our district. And you can see, again, this is 23-24 data. And you can see the number of students who are in these different areas compared to the state. It is worth noting that we have a growing special education population. 15.9% is what is recorded on TAPER, but we do have currently nearly 17% of our students are special education, and that is aligned with our school districts across the state. We just received a report the other day that demonstrates that many school districts are seeing 20+% of students in special education. So this is a phenomenon that we are in lots of conversations about. The last part of the taper talks about staff and program information. Again, talks about who are our staff, who are the teachers that serve our students, and provides detailed information about their demographics, their experience and ratios, and also talks about student program enrollment. And so some information here about our current teachers. You'll see that we have a very experienced group of teachers that serve our students here in LaPorte ISD. More of our teachers have more than 10 years of experience than compared to our state counterparts. So that is a great thing. I'm fortunate to employ such an experienced staff to serve our students. Section 2 of the annual report asks us to talk about the PEIMS financial standards reports. These were provided to you by Stacy in a prior meeting. I'm not sure what date that was. Is it November?
Yes, those are November when the auditor came to the auditor.
Okay. And so it asks that we take a look at this financial data. There are 2 reports provided to the district and campuses to highlight financial revenues, expenditures, and connections to programs and students. We are and continue to be in excellent financial standing. Stacy and her team do a great job managing our funds, and we had an A on our first report and anticipate continuing to demonstrate fiscal responsibility even in challenging financial times. Section 3 of the annual report asks us to talk to you about our district accreditation status. Generally, TEA assigns 1 of 4 accreditation statuses to each district in the state, whether you're accredited, accredited warned, accredited probation, not accredited, or revoked. In assigning the accreditation status to a district, TEA considers our academic accountability ratings, financial accountability ratings, data integrity, and program area deficiencies through results-driven accountability, or RDA. And since we do not have an accountability rating, we do not have an accreditation status, but we would anticipate that we would be accredited. Section 4 asks us to talk about our campus performance objectives. Our campus improvement plans, or our CIPs, and our district improvement plan contain these campus performance objectives. Each campus improvement plan must include performance objectives approved by the board. Each campus periodically measures progress towards these performance objectives, and updated SIPs for the 23-24 school year, which show both the objectives of each campus and each campus's progress towards meeting these objectives, are posted on the district's website and available for your review. The 5th section of the annual report asks us to talk about report on violent or criminal incidents that have taken place on our campuses. This report must include the number, rate, and type of violent or criminal incidents that occurred on each campus, and there's a specific PEIM code set that determines what is violent or criminal. Descriptions of school violence prevention and violence intervention policies and procedures used to protect the students, and findings from any evaluations conducted under Safe and Drug-Free Schools and Communities Act. For the 23-24 school year, LaPorte ISD reported 0 violent or criminal incidents. So, great job. Section 6, student performance in post-secondary institutions.
Sorry, could you give us whatever that team's code is on violence? 0?
16 total.
So things could have happened on campus, they just didn't meet that team's code.
Correct. So those require a mandatory expulsion. So if you
all 16 of those?
Correct. There's state code. We use local most of the time, but it dictates really is what WARKI does. If WARKI's involved and there's some sort of charge, then it requires us to code a certain way. Then it requires that code makes you do a certain discipline, which would typically be an expulsion. So these are possession of weapon, arson, knife. You know, there's 16 total. But
We'll make sure that we have that.
Theory in future years.
Yeah, we've had one last year. We had one. So it's not frequent, but it happens. Bigger districts have them quite often. Honestly, we do a good job. It's one of the same. It can happen.
So if we have a fight on campus,
Fight is not.
but I'm saying, and it leads to an assault, like it's considered assault, and they asked to file charges, right? That would be.
It could possibly be. There's several levels to assault and coding, and there's descriptions as to what level of, he files it in, misdemeanor.
If
It could be. You know,
very pleased, I'm just.
No, yes, we're
See
just
the little
making sure
shots.
when we get questions, obviously.
Possession of
we
a
ask.
weapon is probably your most frequent, and that's terrible. I hate to even say that, but with districts, that's the one that's probably used the most. And then
We have one of those recently, or that on a different year, I guess.
different year,
Got it.
22, 23, we had one. So, just kind of, it all falls with what the DA does, and then kind of.
Right, that's the thing, that I say,
Right.
the one's in the back, the DA has to accept the charges.
And the state attaches your response to it based off him, so if you've got to do what it tells you, otherwise Stacy's team can't upload and submit, you know, as it should be. This way. But we can get you those.
No, you're good. That's a great question. Section 6 of the annual report asks us to talk about student performance in post-secondary institutions. So this is information that looks at what our graduates do during their first year after graduation. So first year enrolled after graduation from high school. This data is compiled by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and the most current report is for the 21-22 high school graduate group. Student performance is measured by GPA earned by 21-22 high school graduates who attended public 4-year and 2-year institutions of higher education in fiscal year 2023. So it just takes a look at all those students, what is their GPA, and it shows you how our students are performing. For each student, the grade points and college level semester credit hours earned by the student in fall of 22, spring of 23, and summer of 23 are added together and then averaged to determine their GPA. The Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, or the THECB, anticipates releasing an updated report for 22-23 high school graduates in mid-January. That report, when available, will be posted on the website and also on the THECB website. Section 7 is about progress toward meeting board-adopted HB3 goals, and you recall that we've talked about the HB3 goals and updated them. Progress made by the district in each campus is summarized in the Year 4 review that was presented to the board on the November school board meeting and is posted on our website. Section 8 is the TAPER glossary. We have a glossary that helps our families and community members and even our staff understand how to read the TAPER report. That glossary is published by TEA. The glossary provides definitions, describes methodologies, and lists the source for each data point that is in the TAPER. A Spanish version of the glossary will be released in early 2025, and that will also be posted on our website. So, the district's TAPER and a copy of the annual report and all the subsequent reports that fall into each of these sections will be posted on the district website within 2 weeks of this meeting. Paper copies will also be available at the district central office upon request. And for more information or any questions that you might have, feel free to contact me, Julie Abram. I'm the Deputy Superintendent of Academics. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
No, I won't bombard you, but I just want to say, I think, speak for everybody, I think we are very appreciative of the work y'all are putting. It's never perfect, right? But y'all are obviously making strides in spite of all the obstacles coming at us from the state. I did have a comment for board president. And so I also want to say this, Julie, thank you so much for the ClickNote version. We had a packet that I've become, I spent more time with my family last week. So I'm glad we can go through it line by line. I don't know if it's possible, President, but like, I know we do the superintendent evaluation based on paper, and it's always glowing, and I don't anticipate that ever changing, but some of the key points that Julie highlighted tonight were helpful to me, kind of look at a different lens, I guess. I don't know if it's possible we can get that maybe before we do. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, not that, we're still going to go through it line by line, but like,
The presentation summer?
yeah, it helped me, like, because some of the stuff, as I'm looking at it by myself, I might not be looking at the right
Very
thing.
interesting in our.
And when you brought some points that I had, you highlight some things that just is really amazing, the difference we're, the improvements.
Would we have it in December?
So I'm not really sure. It all depends on when the state decides to put the TAPER out. Typically, it's in the late fall. And last 3 years it's been a question mark. But usually we receive the TAPER report in the late fall, usually before the holiday. And so then we could absolutely, as soon as we get it, turn around a Cliff Notes version for you.
I made it through high school with Cliff Notes. So, I mean, it just.
Absolutely.
You know, Christmas
You look at all
the
that.
children.
Board, any further questions?
Yes. I'm going to ask the question I thought Mr. Martin was going to ask. Stealing your thunder over here. On page 33 of the summary.
Of the summary or of the table report?
Of the total report summary.
Under
the district tab.
It was considered our district summary in our. Yes, the last page of that.
On page 33?
Yes, the very last page.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, see where it lists all of our teachers by count? I think we're all puzzled why it says gifted and talented education 0.
Very puzzled.
That is a great question. I don't want to speculate. I think I know the answer to this, but let me make sure and I'll get back to you on that.
We'll send it to everybody.
Yeah, I don't want to give you the wrong information. I have a feeling I know why, but I will tell you for sure.
I really dumb question, but like when you look at that same page, I think, I don't know, but it's like 12.1 and 4. Why is it not an even number? That's a dumb question, but I don't figure that out.
It has to do with, and I, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has to do with the amount of time that a teacher has on, you know, like maybe you're a half-time teacher or a part-time or right? I think that's why it's a decimal rather than a full number.
Yeah, you
it's
might
based
teach
on
one class of special education
Correct.
and the rest of the time you're in general ed. So.
Great question.
We'll get that answer.
Yes, we will.
To the whole board tomorrow.
Okay, that'd be good. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Board will move on to item 9, public hearing on the 2023-2024 district annual report, including the Texas Academic Performance Report. The board will now hear those who wish to make comment. This section will be conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and board policy. As such, this is a reminder, we can't comment. Do we have any speakers?
I think you have to state the
Yes.
time.
Yep, 9:01, I'll open this hearing. There we go. Now it's official. Would anybody like to speak about the TAPER report? Anybody? Going once, going twice? All right, seeing that no one wishes to speak, this hearing is closed at 9:01. Wonderful. All right, so we will move on to item 10, our consent agenda. The board will now proceed with our consent agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on at one time. All right. A, determine and approve any consent agenda items. B, approve board meeting minutes. 1, regular board meeting minutes, December 10th, 2024. C, receive principal's report. 1, Early Childhood Center. 2, Bayshore Elementary. 3, College Park Elementary. 4, Heritage Elementary. 5, Jenny Reed Elementary. 6, LaPorte Elementary. 7, Rizzuto Elementary. 8, Lomax Elementary. 9, Baker 6th grade campus. 10, LaPorte Junior High. 11, Lomax Junior High. 12, LaPorte High School. 13, DeWalt High School. D, receive budget and tax rate calendar for fiscal year 2026. E, receive financial reports for November 2024. F, receive human resources report. G, approve amended 2024-2025 teacher evaluation and support system, TTESS list of teacher appraisers. H, approve amendment to memorandum of understanding between LaPorte ISD and San Jacinto College District SJCCD for dual credit provider relationship. I, approve budget amendment. J, approve employment of professional staff. K, approve purchase of special education contracted services. L, approve purchase of wearable panic badges and related hardware, software phase 2. M, adopt a resolution number 2025-10 calling the May 3rd, 2025 general trustee election. All right. Ms. Martin, will you please read back our consent agenda?
Mr. President, our consent items for approval are items A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M.
Awesome. I seek a motion to approve our consent agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Mason. Call for the vote. And it is approved. Thank you, board. So we'll move on to item 11, action and or discussion items. A, consider and approve possible amendment to the superintendent's contract.
I make a motion that we amend the superintendent's contract as we discussed in closed session.
Second.
seconded by Mason. I call for a vote. And it is unanimous. Thank you, board. Item 12, action on closed session items. We do not have any said items, so we'll go to the closing comments by the board of trustees. Who would like to go first?
I'll start.
Go ahead, Russell.
No, all I'm going to say is thanks for all the goodies when we came in here. I can't wait to get back home and kind of go through them before I crash. But that's a ton of stuff, and y'all are too generous, and y'all are great people. And just have a great second semester, and let's finish strong.
You're here. Melissa?
Second that with how generous y'all are. It truly is overwhelming to walk in here during this board meeting to see y'all provide such amazing gifts and special things to us, and it really truly is special. It's so completely unnecessary. Like I'm so overwhelmed, and I'll go home and I'll go through all that and I'll cry, and my kids will be, making fun of me and stuff. But I genuinely just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, not just for that, for everything that you do every single day, and just making lives better for our students. Couldn't ask to be a part of something better. And I just want to say thanks to everyone who spoke tonight. Y'all providing the information that you did to us and educating us and educating the people at home and everything. Y'all do a great job. Y'all are doing a phenomenal job across the district, supporting the students in other ways. So thank you so much for that too. Really, truly, again, blessed.
I echo that 100%. It's amazing that you guys give us all these things, but it makes me feel sad because I don't think we do enough to say thank you to you guys. Y'all give us a lot, probably way too much credit for how things run this district. You guys are the hands and feet every single day, and I say all the time, like you have to have a servant's heart to be in public education, and I truly believe that, and I couldn't do it, right? And so we're so thankful for the job y'all put in, day out, year in and year out. I want to also apologize to Stacey. I meant to say thank you earlier. I know we have a Finance 101 coming up, and so that, for me, I hope that help alleviate some of my dumb questions that I ask all the time. But that's going to be, I never fully understand school finance, but I think that's going to be a great step in the right direction. So thank y'all for taking the time to do that. Also, thank you to, there's so many things, but one thing I want to point out, we started off this evening honoring our mentors from the health program. And so I want to say thank you first and foremost to Dr. Jackson for, we bring him a lot of crazy ideas, but I told him the other day, he really opened up the floodgate to allow the community and people to come back, parents and alike, to come in and pour back into our kids and our staff here in Porte ISD. For too long, whatever reason, we got off on the wrong track, and we expected our teachers to teach reading, writing, arithmetic, values, morals, and ethics. They kind of put all these parental things onto the staff. And you guys can't do it alone. And that's kind of where the health mentoring came to the why behind it. We just want to help. And we're seeing across different campuses some behavioral changes, some positive changes, I think. And what's great to me is that it's encouraged other organizations and other things to kind of blossom and take root. And I think that's what's going to really change this. I think it is changing our district for the positive. And so we're just so appreciative that you guys allowed that. Thank you, Terry, for recognizing them tonight. And then also thank you to again, I know on the campus levels, we're already bringing different things to y'all, and y'all like, but y'all have openly accepted that the helps mentoring and a lot of other different things we put before y'all in the help, but hoping to help character issues in our district. And so thank you for embracing that and for the job of all those mentors that you guys recognize tonight. That's amazing. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes, I just want to echo what they've said. Everything was really nice. I remember my mom coming home with the boxes full of stuff, and I would like, oh, Mom, these are really cool. There are some really creative kiddos on these campuses with a lot of talent. So I really appreciate looking through all of the portraits that we got, and it's really fun. And the book, and I want to say thank you because I think this book was picked out for me purposely. So thank you very much. And yes, I enjoyed seeing my son. Thank you to the board members tonight. That was really special. So thank you.
thanks for showering us with so many accolades and our sweet gifts and our thoughtful things that we will treasure. I think the administrative reports tonight were both enlightening and helpful for us and for the public. So I appreciate your time and effort in those. And I hope everybody had a happy holiday season and are having a blessed new year. And we'll move forward into the great spring semester.
I just want to say thank you. You know, we're always thanking everybody else, but tonight y'all should be thanking us. We didn't pull any items on the consent agenda. So you're welcome. And I thought about it. I'm just kidding. Of course, thank you for all the gifts. The portrait of me from Bayshore Elementary was very nice. I wouldn't say spot on, but it was certainly nice. It was good. The presenters tonight, thank you, Stacy, Alyssa, and Ralph. I mean, it was great. Everybody on those presentations. I do want to take a second to say thank you to a few specific people. Terry, Partners in Education, is continuing to surpass everybody's beliefs on what's going on over there. It really makes a difference. Terry works hard at everything she does. I knew when she left this building she'd come back, and this is the perfect role for her. So, Dr. Jackson, good job on handpicking that one. I also want to thank Candace. Candace really takes care of this board. I know she probably takes care of you and the entire district, Dr. Jackson, but I mean, just the little nuances up here and having new pens and I mean everything. I mean, she does far more than her job title and her job description, and I'm sure everybody at the administration knows that. So thank you, Dr. Jackson. Thank you. You know, we had a great your evaluation tonight. Everybody knows, and you know, the entire time we just talked about how you're blowing off us all away, and we appreciate everything you're doing and your leadership in the district. So, with that, I will end it.
Ditto. No, I appreciate it. Real quick, the musical is fast approaching. The numbers are back and they're strong, and it's great to see. We had a couple years, you know, with the freeze that the 8th grade performances did not happen, and we saw a decline. Those numbers have returned. Pretty much half those boys that got those awards at the beginning have prominent roles. It's pretty awesome to see. So get your musical tickets. And the other thing I want to really point out is we are the beneficiary. My wife and I, my oldest daughter left to go finish her last semester at A&M. And because of this district, we're going to save about $64,000 by her graduating early because of what she accomplished here. That's real money. Everybody needs that type of stuff. And you don't look at it that way until you look at it that way. And it was put in our lap, and we looked at it and we're like, is this real? And she goes, yeah, here's the receipts. And so kudos to everybody involved. To echo the sentiment here, the district is phenomenal, and we can't sing the praises enough. We thank you all for your commitment and your diligence every single day, and we're sorry for keeping you here so late tonight. So appreciate your patience.
And the musical ticket order form went out today, so make
check
sure.
Your email.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I just want to clarify, Ms. Hyde, we need to give this back to you because it's a donation to your.
Schedule a time to come read it.
Okay, so but this is.
You get to take it home.
That's such a neat idea. I love it. So we'll take it home and come read it. And okay.
That's how she gets us on campus.
Way to lure us back in.
But everybody stay warm the next couple weeks. I know we'll be on a little bumpy trajectory for the next 10 days. That's good old weather for us. But